So when are we actually going to get trailer 2? Now in this video there is two alternative timelines. The first one is making the assumption we're going to get GTA 6 before March next year. The second one is making the assumption we're going to get GTA 6 after March next year. Now the reason why I'm having to make these different distinctions is because of these two options. In today's video I'm going to explain both timelines to you and why they're both equally as likely and also both very important. So the first timeline we have is on the assumption that we're going to get GTA 6 in fiscal 25. Now currently Rockstar's parent company Take-Two Interactive turn over about $5.3 billion a year. Thereabouts. It varies and fluctuates between 5.1 and 5.3 and year over year it has increased. Well, in the lead up to their last earnings call, they inferred and intimated that they're expecting around $7 billion worth of turnover for fiscal 25. Now, fiscal 25 is the 1st of April this year, just gone, to the end of March next year. So for all intents and purposes, they're going to be making an extra $1.8 or so billion within that time period. Now, seeing as Take-Two Interactive own all of these companies, that amount of increased turnover is very significant and can only really come from a couple of major releases or of course one massive release, i.e. GTA 6. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that Zynga, which is another company Take-Two Interactive own, would account for this extra $1.2 to $1.8 billion. But Take-Two Interactive's turnover figures for last year included Zynga's acquisition back in 2022. So Zynga's turnover figures have already been accounted for in that $5.3 billion that they made in the previous years. And also Zynga is now struggling a little bit. That's why they're laying off so many different staff, and that's also why Take-Two Interactive are getting rid of loads of other development companies, because they are hemorrhaging money in areas that they don't need to be spending. So this extra $1.8 billion worth of predictions will, for all intents and purposes, be GTA 6. I'm very interested to see how that there could be challenged. However, this $7 billion was just a number thrown out there by Take-Two Interactive as a rough guesstimation. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to be seeing an earnings call from Take-Two Interactive, and that earnings call is to round up the end of fiscal 24 and to give their official predictions for fiscal 25. Now, if we get predictions such as 6 billion or 5.5 billion for fiscal 25, we can say with almost 100% certainty that GTA 6 will not be coming out between now and the end of March 2025. Because we know that GTA 6 will probably do $1 billion worth of turnover in the first week or even less maybe. And we also know the game isn't coming out this year because of what it said in the trailer at the end, 2025. But if the game was to release earlier, the figure would be way above $7 billion. If Take-Two give a prediction of $10 billion or $9 billion, then we can probably assume that we're going to be seeing GTA 6 at the very start of 2025, because then we'd have 3 months worth of sales figures to account for that, with the first couple of billion being in the first week or two or maybe month of sale. But by the looks of this $7 billion figure, it's very likely that we'd see GTA 6 towards the end of March, so the rest of the figures would carry over into fiscal 26. So let's assume that we're going to get GTA 6 before the end of March 2025, meaning that we're going to get the game at some point between January and the end of March. If that's the case, then we should be receiving trailer 2 anytime around about now. Now, it's worth stating here that a lot of people have said that with GTA 5 the trailers were staggered like a year apart from each other, and I can 100% understand that, but also GTA 5 was delayed by 9 months to nearly a year. There was a massive delay that took place for GTA 5, and that could be the case for GTA 6, but we have to go off the information that we currently know. We have no information to believe that GTA 6 is currently delayed, despite how many people try and bait that it is on Twitter. Now, before a GTA game is released, we usually get between 3 to 5 trailers, give or take. So if we were to receive trailer 2 in December, for example, that would only give like an 8 to 9 week period for trailer 3, 4 and 5 to come out. I don't see that being very likely. I think what's more likely is with this next earnings call in May, we're going to be receiving confirmation from Take-Two Interactive which window, which time frame GTA 6 is going to be released within. Now, within that time frame, we'll have a lot more information and contextual information about Take-Two Interactive's movements and what Rockstar Games' plans are. This would be the perfect time for us to get some screenshots, some information, some artwork for the game, or potentially even that desired trailer 2. In my opinion, trailer 2 being in May, the next trailer being around September, October, November, some point around that sort of time, and the final trailer coming at the start of 2025, and then the gameplay trailer coming about a month before release, so maybe at the end of February, start of March, somewhere around that sort of period. That would be a more logical timeline in terms of staggering things out. Now, where do pre-orders sit in all of this situation? Well, pre-orders, they could do now. In theory, we're now in fiscal 25. It would account for fiscal 25's figures. And this pre-order number then takes me on to a very important thing. With pre-orders, if the pre-order is with some merchandise like a t-shirt, hat, hoodie, t-shirt, maybe some collector's packs or something like that, then those pre-order figures will count towards Take-Two Interactive's turnover figures. So if they did a pre-order between now and the end of March, and those pre-orders consisted of merchandise, then those would be accounted for in the turnover figures for Take-Two Interactive. Because money and products has exchanged hands, the customer has received something in exchange for the money. However, if it's just a pre-order with no physical product, no collector's pack or anything like that, those figures would not be accounted for in Take-Two Interactive's earnings figures. So when it comes to trying to figure out what that extra $1.8 to $1.9 billion could actually mean for Take-Two Interactive, it's really hard to quantify, especially as us, the mere mortals, what that could actually mean for Take-Two. And before we get into the alternative timeline, which is late 2025, here's a brief word from today's video sponsor, Private Internet Access. So one of the worst things when playing online is having loads of lag and latency, and having some of your friends glitching out while playing. This has happened now, especially a few times when we've been recording, and it's so annoying. But it's also important to be private when using the internet. But at the same time, there should never ever be a compromise for privacy and internet speed. But with today's video sponsor, Private Internet Access, you can use their VPN to not only stay private online, but achieve really fast internet speeds, which is really important when it comes to gaming. Now, if you're based in the US and you decided that you want to use a VPN, you want to stay private online, you don't want people to access your IP address or anything like that, you can change your location to one of their 50 US states. So rather than having to ping to the other side of the world, you can ping to a nearby state whilst remaining completely anonymous and private and still maintaining a really fast internet speed. Or alternatively, if you're just browsing online and you want to change your location to maybe access Netflix in another country, for example, you can just use Private Internet Access to choose from 91 countries and change your location. For example, Netflix in the USA is a lot better than the Netflix we get in the UK, so I use it just to change my location to there, so I can watch the really good stuff that they have on the American Netflix. Obviously, I like to stay anonymous online, so I use Private Internet Access all the time. Even when using my Meta Quest 3, I'm using Private Internet Access. I'm just doing it through a hotspot, so I can not only get fast internet connection, but I'm also protecting my privacy. And as you can tell, that's pretty important to me. If you want to save yourself 83% off and get 4 months completely free, click the link down below. It only works out at about $2.03 a month. Insanely cheap. Now let's look at the alternative timeline, that GTA 6 comes out after March 2025 and rolls into fiscal 26, which is April 2025 to March 2026. This is the second most preferred date, which would be around September or October 2025 for a release. Now, with this sort of timescale in mind, it's very likely that Trailer 2 would be pushed to the end of this year. Trailer 3 would be pushed to maybe around April, March next year. The gameplay trailers could be summer next year, with the game coming out towards the end of the year. And my glasses just died again. Sorry guys, I've got some new glasses on order. The batteries aren't faulty, it's actually the glasses. So they're the two timelines we're working with, and I'm very keen to hear what your thoughts are and when you think we'll get it. But hopefully that helps explain what's going on at Take-Two. Of course, on the 16th of May, we'll have the earnings call. As soon as that earnings call comes out, I'll make a video summarizing my thoughts. I'll make a load of notes while watching it, and I'll post a video letting you know what's happened. So subscribe to be notified when that video comes out. So thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one.